Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to thank my colleague for his speech. I think very much related to C-56 is the degree to which corporations are making record profits these days while everyone else seems to be suffering. We recently had Galen Weston, chairman of Loblaw, appear before our committee, the Standing Committee on Agriculture and Agri-Food. And, his profits continue to rise while everyone else, all Canadian families, especially in my riding, are having to struggle and make do without. And we see it in the oil and gas sector as well. Over the last 3 years, their profits have gone up by over 1,000%. Mr. Weston thinks that his executive compensation, which is 431 times the average salary of one of his workers, is a reasonable amount. And he can't not tell the committee how many of his workers, full-time workers, are having to actually access the food bank to get by. So Conservatives don't want to talk about gross corporate profits these days. But what I'd like to hear from my honourable colleague is, what are the Liberals going to do to tackle this corporate culture where they are continuing to make profits while everyone else suffers? We have had 40 years of too much corporate deference in this country. What are they going to do to start turning that around to make sure that the pendulum swings back in the favour of Canadian families?
The honourable for Fleetwood Port Kells.
I thank the honourable member for that question because it's an onion. There are layers upon layers of things that need to be considered. I would direct him and anybody witnessing this to the Roosevelt Institute in the United States, which is looking at a fundamental rebalancing of the wealth that comes out of the market. And that rebalancing will be away from the CEOs, from the boards, from the executives, more towards the workers. We've seen this in the resurgence of union activity in the country, where unions are again having the opportunity and the ability to assert the rights of working people and maybe skim some, maybe a little bit more off the top of the executive compensation, which has really gone off the rails, I'd say, in the last 20 to 30 years. Again, this Competition Act amendment is an iterative thing. It will be subject to amendments as we see opportunities to make things better for Canadians.